Screwing around again. Another late start. Oh, man. Are we okay? Let's see. YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Okay. And yeah, I gotta quit screwing around before airtime. Another late start. That's all your fault, idiot. From station WDWL TV, with great anticipation, we bring you the pride of the station, the grumpy old man, me, and Mr. Ham, the grumpy vulture. We ain't gonna keep this shit up, I'll tell you that right now. Take your vow. Now, back in your other spotlight. Jesus. Next thing he'll be taking over the show. Hey, Kathy, how are ya? Another shitty, crappy day in Cleveland, Christ's sake. 59 degrees, rain, cold. God, is it spring or is it fall? Well, you know the weather here. Here we are, almost, Memory Day, and shitty, crappy, goddamn, rainy, ice cold weather. And I got shit I want to get done. I no sooner weed whacked the back. Well, I got half of it done. And then all this goddamn rain, and the goddamn weeds will be right back up where they were before. That's why I say, if anybody knows what I'm bitching about, you understand it. The major problem is I'm too fucking old to move. I'm stuck here in this goddamn city because I couldn't afford to move. Not with the rent that I'm paying here. God, I hear what rents are. Oh, Jesus. My buddy's daughter is attending. I piss her off. I said, what the hell's this UCLA University you're attending? She goes, it's not UCLA, it's UCLA. Yeah, UCLA, UCLA. She pisses me off. So, she has got a shoebox for an apartment. And she's paying like $1,800 a month. And it's a shoebox. It's an efficiency. You know, her couch is basically in her kitchen. I mean, one bedroom, shoebox. Almost $2,000. And everybody said, that's cheap. I don't know how people can afford to live in California. Well, maybe that's why Skid Row in Los Angeles keeps getting larger and larger and larger and larger. Yeah, I mean, at my age, not to mention having to start completely from scratch with a new medical system. No way. I'm trapped here basically. I'm trapped here. I should have done it years ago. I should have done it when my aunt and uncle moved down to Clearwater. I could have got a real deal, although after I heard what the goddamn lot rent ended up, you know, my aunt and uncle bought a beautiful double wide. Gorgeous. Cathedral ceiling, beams, you know, absolutely gorgeous. Lot rent $1,000 a month. And everybody said, oh, that's cheap. On Social Security? Thank God I didn't go down there because I could have got the trailer. It was a single wide, but I could have got the trailer right next door to him. I couldn't afford $1,100 a month for lot rent. You know, then you got to add on utilities and, you know, food, car insurance. I'm glad I didn't do it. I'm glad I didn't do it. Hey, Ron, how you doing? But that's really reasonable for a 3-bedroom house, I would think. God, around here, these 2-bedroom bungalows that all the people are buying to rent out, they're getting $1,300 to $1,500 a month. And here, the perfect example. Marianne needed to get permission from the owner of the house behind her to put up a fence. The owner isn't even in the country. how they bought this house. They're not residents. They went through an agency, bought this house. They don't even live in America. They live in the Middle East. And they're slum landlords. This shit just... Hey, Sherry, how are ya? I can walk down my street and point out every house that is now a rental, and most of them are owned by slumlords that you never see. And it's sad because back growing up, everybody in this neighborhood owned their house. Nobody rented. There was no rentals back in the day were apartments. It's sad. They don't do shit for the tenants except collect the rent. They make the tenants, cut their own grass, do their own upkeep. It's sad. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hang on. I got trouble here. My tablet. Something happened. Dumbass Grumpy forgot to charge the battery. So now, pardon me, while I put the tablet on charge so that I have something to play outro music when we get done. Oh, jeez. I thought I charged that thing. I got to get into the habit. When I sign off at night, immediately plug the tablet into charge. I don't know why I don't do that. Hey, look who's here. Jenny's here. Well, Sherry, keep busy. I know I was going to say something stupid like it'll keep your mind off things, but it ain't going to keep your mind off things. But you got to stay busy, because if you sit and mope, it's just going to be worse. I know it's tough to get through, but hang in there. Well, you're paying less for a 3-bedroom house with a basement than what the 2-bedroom bungalows in this neighborhood are going on. When I hear what these slumlords are charging people, it's ridiculous. Marianne finally ended up having to get the city to literally threaten this guy over, in wherever he lives in the Middle East, to give her permission to put up a goddamn fence on her own property. But that's the problem with Cleveland codes here. And she had a complete staked survey done. Because the guy messaged back and he goes, well, as long as the fence isn't on my property, Marianne says, why would I put a fence I'm buying on his property? I think it's bullshit. You're putting a fence on your property and you have to get permission from the asshole behind you to tear your own fence down to put up a new fence? No. Oh, God, I would. Oh, when I hear some of the bullshit about HOAs, I had a. Get this shit. I had a friend that had a house in an HOA. He got cited by the HOA for having the wrong color drapes in the front of his house. The wrong colored drapes. He argued it's inside the house. People can see it from the street. Wrong color drapes. Yeah, you couldn't have purple or lavender drapes. That's dictating a little far. I could see saying, "Oh, hey, you can't paint your shutters lavender on your house." But to tell you you can't have lavender drapes? And then anything you planted, you had to get permission. He wanted to put in decorative grass. I loved the house I lived in up the street. I had decorative, come on, Grumpy, decorative grass from that high to 18 feet high. It looked, matter of fact, the neighbors commented, how wonderful it looked. If I lived in an HOA, I couldn't have that. I would never, ever live in an HOA. Never. Not when they basically dictate your life to you. I got friends right now. They live in a, what the hell do they call that? Senior clusterfuck. Cluster. You're only allowed black, or dark brown. Black or dark brown. Mulch. she put redwood because she liked the look of the redwood. Because the redwood, after a while, turns dark anyway. Oh, God, the HOA made them vacuum it all out. Get that shit out of there. You can't have redwood mulch. No, 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 no. They own the house, but they can't do what they want. Oh, when I saw some of the rules, first thing I said to both of them, I insulted the shit out of them. I said, what the fuck would you buy a house in something like this? She can't landscape the way she wants. And they had this house built. I said, didn't you know what you were getting into? Well, the house came with landscaping. Well, when she decided she didn't like the way it was landscaped, no, you can't dig that shrub up. Oh, no, no, no. And some of these HOAs will literally sue you in court. I would never live anywhere where there was an HOA. No goddamn way. Have somebody dictate to me what color drapes I can put up in my house? I'd buy drapes with fucking black and white skull and crossbones and I'd hang them in my living room. Take that, assholes. Unbelievable. Oh. And I have heard and read horror stories about HOAs. I would never. That would be the first thing I'd ask a real estate agent. Does this neighborhood have an HOA? Why, yes. Fuck you. Let's go somewhere else. But, it's the house exactly what you want. Well, can you move the fucking house somewhere else and I'll buy it? Gargle articles about HOAs. As a matter of fact, I'm going to find out. I read an article in Reader's Digest recently. I'll say within the last 6 months. Horror stories of HOAs. I'll find out what month it is, and you can gargle it because you can read some of this shit online. Absolutely horror stories. Now, on a lighter note, I don't watch ads on YouTube. As soon as it says skip, I'm skipping. About 2.5 weeks ago, I see this ad come on. And I was about to give it the old skip. And it was for a radar detector. I broke mine, even though I don't drive freeways and all that. I like having a radar detector. Now, this radar detector is the newest, latest, and greatest. 360 coverage. Even has an eye in the sky sensor, GPS. I was considering it. Now, this is an ad that plays on YouTube. $70. Originally, $140. 50% off if you order it on YouTube. Okay? I was considering it. Even though it's a little pricey, but it's the newest one out. Like I say, 360 coverage. Even if they're eye in the sky, you ain't gonna believe this. I'm going through my favorite shopping website, and I happen to spot something. And it looked very familiar. It looked extremely familiar. So, there is you can click up in the top of an ad on Temu, Grumpy's favorite shopping site, and you can email that ad to yourself. So I emailed it to myself. And then the commercial come on YouTube again the following night. And I'm paying real close attention to this radar detector. I says, geez, I can't believe this. Temu has the exact radar detector that is in this commercial, originally $140, on sale now, if you order online, $70. I was amazed. So, today, my radar detector arrives. Now, this is the radar detector, the exact radar detector. There's your eye in the sky right there. 360 coverage, all bands, including LiDAR, that is advertised for $70. The exact same radar detector. Temu, $8.71. The identical one for $70. Because the ad happened to come on shortly after I got my mail, exact same radar detector. $8.71. Temu.com. I almost paid $70 for this son of a bitch. Same one. The exact same one. Exact. Had I purchased that radar detector for $70 and then saw this one on Temu, I would have been pissed. Exact same one. 360 coverage. Right there. The V7. The exact same one. And every accessory that is shown in the ad, if I can get it out, it has, I hate these things, these crappy anti-skid pads for your dash. You know, you set it on there and it won't slide nowhere. Yeah, bullshit. And the obligatory cigarette lighter / power port plug. $8.71. It came in the mail. I no sooner opened the box, and about 5 minutes later, the ad comes up on my YouTube. I was watching Judge Simpson, you know, and the ads always interrupt right at the wrong time. So I took this one out of the box, and I'm watching the ad. Identical, right down to the cigarette lighter plug. $8.71. Can you imagine the poor saps that paid $140 for this same radar detector? Because that was the original price. $140. $8.71. I almost ordered it. First of all, the reason I didn't, $70 would have had to wait until next month when I get my check. And I wanted to do a little research. Not thinking Temu would be carrying this. And it just so happened, the only way I came about it was by accident, because I happened to be looking, like I need more, looking at t-shirts by this seller, and it said at the bottom, click here to see other products. So I clicked, and there's a bunch of stuff I wasn't interested in, And when I got down to the bottom of the page, there's this radar detector. I was like, So I opened the ad and I said, boy, that looks similar. So I emailed the ad so that I could reference it later on. Sure enough, same goddamn radar detector. Good thing I just happened to scan that seller's products, because the first of next month I'd ordered for $70 fucking. Instead, I spent $8.71 plus tax. I made up my mind today. From now on, if I'm looking for something, I'm gonna put it in the search bar on Timo just for the hell of it to see if they got it. Because so far, everything I have purchased, I have not had a problem with. I have not got burned on anything. I told you the other day, with my weed whacker, I bitched because the ad said 24 volt batteries and I got 21 volt batteries. I bitched. They immediately refunded 50% of my purchase price. Immediately. I can't say enough about them. Unbelievable. Oh yeah, Kathy, I'll tell you what, from when they first hit the scene, they were a bit like Wish. And I was leery of them. But I figured I'll give them a try. I ordered a couple of items, and I was surprised. I showed you this. You see ads on TV. They call these, Manscaped razors and $39.95, $49.95. This one has a built-in meter that tells you how much battery time you have left. It has several attachments. Take a guess. Here, I forget how to turn it on. Okay, it's got a battery meter, tells you. Plus, it's got 3 speeds. Advertised on TV, $39.95 on local TV, not internet. They call it Manscaped. They got all kinds of names. Advertised on TV. Matter of fact, I saw the ad last night because I was watching local TV. It came to $39.95. Free shipping. Oh, okay. Timo, $5.60. And it works like a charm. $5.60. For the little bit of trimming I touch up, I haven't been touching up lately. And I mean, it's quality. This thing's heavy. There ain't nothing chintzy about it. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Hang on. Disaster. Holy shit. I hope I didn't bust the charging port. Oh, God. I knocked the tablet off the end of the console. Oh, man. I think I broke the charging port. I think I broke the charging port. Oh, no. Man, that's all I need. Oh, heaven forbid. Okay. Whew. I thought I broke the charging port on top of the tablet. Ugh. There, another. My head buzz bomber. Look at the blades on this son of a bitch. Same thing. It counts down as tells you how much charge you got left. I got 90% because I buzz bombed my head earlier. This identical one on Amazon, $59.95. This identical $59.95 on Amazon. The reason I know is my buddy bought one off of Amazon, and then I compared it and I said, "You got torque." $12. The identical one Amazon sells for $60 because my buddy's got one, and boy is he pissed. And everybody says, "Oh, the Temu, bunch of Chinese crap." No. Nope. I am extremely happy with stuff I've gotten. Yeah, here's the perfect example: this radar detector. The same one. And my moose, Logitech, $79.99. Temu, $24.90. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. Like you say, everything I have ordered, I have extremely happy with. That's like my computer speakers. For my Eaglet computer. The speakers I had, one day I was in a hurry. I went to unplug them, and I broke the plug. It makes them worthless. So I threw them away. Yeah, they were about 8 years old. So I'm looking on eBay. Similar speakers, 25 to 30 bucks to the ones that I had. So Chimu has an electronics section. I'm going through the computer electronics section. Computer speakers, almost identical to the ones I broke. $5. And they change colors. Even better than ones I broke, because these change colors. And I'm a color freak, you know, me and my lights. I ordered them. They work great. Now, I wouldn't think that I would get ultra high-end quality stereo equipment, but these speakers are wonderful. Very good sound. I plugged them into my one MP3 player. I was like, wow, I can't believe the sound coming out of these things. So, but that radio detector, oh, had I ordered that son of a bitch. Because, you know, when you order off these websites, it's impossible to return something. I'm trying to think what the hell I ordered off of. I fell for one of these goddamn YouTube websites once before. What did I order? Oh, God, I can't remember what the hell I ordered. We'll have to come back to that because I can't remember what the hell I ordered. And I got burned. And I tried to return it. Because a lot of these outfits don't take returns. You'll find a lot of these as seen on TV bullshit websites don't take returns. And if they do offer you a refund, by the time they take all their fees and this and that out, you're lucky maybe you get 50% of your money back. That's why I say it amazed me when I bitched about the wrong batteries. They instantly, would you accept a 50% refund? I clicked yes. Within 3 minutes, your refund will be in the credit section. So I waited, and I clicked on credit balance, and there it was, $14.50. I was like, holy shit, they meant what they said. No questions asked. You know, sometimes they'll ask for pictures. Send pictures of the problem. Like with that drone. That was the amazing thing. $68 drone. It was supposed to come with 4 extra propeller blades. I got two. So I went in and I explained, hey, I only got two propeller blades. And I said, please send me two more. They refunded my whole purchase, $68, and keep the drone for two little plastic propeller blades. All I did was send a picture. I spread everything out because you got a charging cord, you got a little screwdriver and a memory card, and I took a picture, refunded the whole purchase price, and said, keep the drone. For two dinky little plastic propeller blades. I really expected them to say send it back and we'll send you a new one. All I wanted was my two other in case I broke them. Nope. Keep the drone. Here's your money back. Sorry. Worked for me. Since I crashed the thing, I haven't flown it. I'm waiting for a non-windy day. Although I was lucky, I crashed it and it didn't break. I hit the wrong lever. I wanted it to go up a little more. I hit the lever, and all of a sudden, it went right and down the street. I was like, oh no! Beat my neighbor in the back of his head. He was like, I was kind of afraid to walk up to retrieve my drone. I said, hey, sorry, first flight, bad pilot. Luckily, I didn't break it. But needless to say, I haven't flown it again either. I think what I'm going to do is go into a big empty parking lot somewhere and get the hang of it first instead of flying it around the neighborhood. I was kind of hoping Mrs. Metcalf was going to pop in. I had something to show her. Not to mention, I forgot that website she gave me. Was something ham in a day or something, ham sandwich today, or she got me thinking about getting my ham license. But I gotta find a ham radio club here on my side of town. I'm not driving out to Geauga County. Even if I can get my ham license in a day, I ain't driving out to Geauga County. No. There's got to be a ham radio club on the west side of Cleveland. Although, like I said, ham radio operators are becoming like manual transmissions. I don't know. I have to see how much the goddamn license is. I don't need no more expenses. And how long they. Some are good for 3 years, some are good for 5 years, some are good for 10 years. I don't know. I was really interested when I was younger, especially when I'd sit down in the basement and my uncle had that neat, he called it his ham shack. He had a special room in the basement and he had goddamn ham equipment. Jesus. You'd think that he was the control tower for Hopkins Airport. Was $35. Yeah. Depends on how long it's good for. I don't want to pay no $35 a year. And I thought it was so cool, my uncle would be doing Morse code with like something you would see, in a goddamn Western, Da, 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 da. He would tapping that key out. And he was telling me what he was sending, And he tried to teach me, and I couldn't even manage SOS, let alone. I think he had to type out 2 sentences. I think that was on the test. In order to get your ham, you had to Morse code 2 sentences. And I just couldn't get the hang of it. And it's interesting because every now and then if I listen to one of the ham radio frequencies, you'll hear somebody during the day. I'm like, you can talk, pal. We're not back in the 1800s. I don't know. I mean, I got the equipment. Christ. I got a radio mounted in the RAV4. I got 2 portable. Not to mention I got my 3 that my uncle gave me. I've had these ham radios all these years and never used them. I mean, it would be neat to talk to somebody, in London or Australia. That's a nice thing about ham radios. You can talk around the world. But something I should have considered when I was younger. It's still a thought. It's not totally dead. Because I know these ham license in a day, they really coach the shit out of you to get to pass that test. It's not like they throw the test in front of you and say, hey, when you're done, bring it up, we'll grade it. No, now come on. You know. You know what the answer is. We told you. Oh. What did you tell me? Oh, triangulated oscillation. Triangulated oscillation. You got that one right. That's the way they help you. I know. That's how you can get your ham radio license in a day. Even if you are a dummy. Because they want to preserve as many, let's keep the clubs going. We need more new blood in the clubs. Yeah, well, this blood needs some geritol. Do they even make that shit anymore? God, I remember growing up. Hey, Linda, how are you? I remember growing up seeing commercials for Geritol. Makes you feel stronger fast. Geritol. I don't know if the shit ever worked, but boy, I remember people used to buy the hell out of that crap. I know my grandmother on my mother's mother, she always had a bottle of Geritol in her luggage. She'd fly in from California to visit for a couple of weeks, send me up to the drugstore. Go get me another bottle of Geritol. Okay. And keep the change. Oh, okay. I can't remember how much Geritol was, but I always know I came home with a couple of candy bars. That and mustard plasters. My grandmother, she'd send me to the goddamn drugstore for a mustard plaster. And I can't remember what the other plaster was. They had a mustard plaster and something. Because I remember she'd be taking it out of the box and peeling off the protective plastic and sticking it on her back. Oh. Yeah. She'd have a backache. She'd send me up to the drugstore for a mustard plaster. And there was another one. I can't remember what the second one was. It was one or the other she would send me for. Of course, that was back, I was 8, 9 years old. She'd send me for a bottle of Geritol, and then, God, I can't remember what the second plaster was. I know most of the time it was a mustard plaster, but every now and then she'd have me get a different one. I can't remember what it was. I know she opened it up and there was a protective sheet on it. And then she put it on her back. It got to be the point I knew right where they were in the drugstore. I didn't have to ask the druggist. I remember the first time I went to the drugstore. My grandma needs a mustard plaster. Come with me, son. right there. Bottom shelf. She just wants one? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I can't remember what the other one was. Because they were side by side, and I didn't pay attention. And I'd say to the druggist, Grandma wants whatever the other plaster was. Come with me. See right there, next to the mustard ones? That one. Oh, okay. She only wants one? Mm-hmm. Are you sure? Because last time you were up the next day for another one. No, she only wants just one. Okay. You were like $2 or $3, something like that. Maybe not even that expensive. I don't know. We're talking, Christ, what? 59, 1960. The druggist would always eyeball me, because I could barely see over the counter, Not to mention the druggists, they're like on the second story. I'd be waving. Yes? My grandma sent me up for some Geritol. Oh, okay. Come with me. Right here. She want the big bottle or the small one? Take the small one. Be safe. Well, what if she wants the big one? How much money you got? $5? All right, you got enough for a big one. Take the big one. Okay. I can't remember how much the Geritol was. All I knew was whatever change was left, I could buy candy. So I get me a couple of big Hershey bars. That's when Hershey bars were big. Come home. Here's your Geritol, Grandma. Did you have enough for candy? Okay. Then the next day, can you go up and get me a mustard plaster? Okay. Do I get to buy candy? That was my reward for bicycling up to the drugstore to get Grandma her Geritol and mustard plasters. There was one other item, too, she used with Geritol, mustard plasters, and what the hell was the... Oh, Doan's pills. No, not Doan's. Carter's little liver pills. Yeah. Geritol, Carter's liver pills, and mustard plasters. And every now and then, Doan's pills. I don't know what Doan's pills ever did. But I remember, Carter's liver pills. Yeah. Geritol, mustard plasters, and Carter's little liver pills. Those were the three things. And every now and then, Doan's pills. I don't know what Carter's little liver pills did or Doan's pills did, but that was my mother's mother self-medicating. Yeah. Carter's little liver pills. But she was big on her Geritol. Oh, man. I don't even think she measured out. I think she just... Okay. Those were the days when you could fly with bottles of Geritol in your luggage and not have to worry about anybody checking anything. God, could you imagine trying to get a bottle of Geritol past the PSA? Or TSA or whoever the hell they are. Christ, it's bad enough you almost got to strip naked in order to get on a fucking plane nowadays. Take off your shoes, take off your socks, take off your belt, drop your pants. Send your suitcase through 47 different x-ray machines. Brrr. I remember when I worked for the limousine service, I used to get hands full of lighters because outside was a trash can that said deposit your lighters here. And it was amazing how many fucking Bic lighters were in that trash can. I'd help myself. Oh, I'd have pockets full of them. Although, had I gotten caught, I'd have... When I flew up to Milwaukee to pick up my Harley, I knew you could not have a lighter. You could have cigarettes. You couldn't have a lighter. So, what I did, I took a pack of matches and buried them inside my wallet, so that when I got off the plane, I could have a cigarette because I needed one. And I couldn't wait till I got to the hotel. Yeah, I no sooner got outside the airport, and I hadn't used matches in eons. And I forgot how goddamn sulfury taste it got in the cigarette. I didn't care. I come out of that airport, I need to smoke. Had the TSA found them matches, they'd have probably had me arrested. But I had a secret pocket in my wallet. Boy, I buried that pack of matches up inside that secret pocket. Threw my wallet in the basket. It went through x-ray. They didn't see the matches. I got off that plane, got outside the airport, waiting for the motel bus. Luckily, the bus showed up after I finished the cigarette. We got to where the hell did I stay? Oh, I stayed at a Hilton. Not a Holiday Inn Express, no. I stayed at a Hilton. It was just for one night. because my flight got in after the goddamn factory closed. So the next morning, I was there waiting outside Harley Davidson door. Let me in. But boy, I'll tell you what, anybody that buys a Harley and does a factory pickup, they treat you like a king. All kinds of shit they give you, not to mention a free lunch, a complete factory tour. I got that neat 100th anniversary shirt to go with my 100th anniversary bike. Got a tour from engineering where they take your order and make sure everything's going to work, all the way to the end of the assembly line. And then they have this neat room. Your bike's under spotlights. Although, I'll tell you what, I bet they were glad they only had one of me ordering. Every week, I'd call up, hey, I wanna add this chrome or this chrome doodad or that chrome piece or this chrome or these spotlights. And finally, it got to be the point the guy told me, this is it. No more. It's going to be built next week. No more. You can't add no more parts. Okay. I felt like telling the guy, hey, what are you bitching about? Every time I add something, the price goes up. And what's a Harley without a shitload of chrome? Oh, did that bike have chrome on it? Oh, man. I don't even want to think about the guy that bought it. I just pray that he kept it in the shape that I kept it in. Oh man, the chrome there, I thought, oh. And being 100th anniversary edition, everything like the fog lights and the saddlebags and the trunk, it all had the 100th anniversary logos, the fancy. So you knew it was authentic 100th anniversary. I got pictures somewhere. Oh, it had chrome. It had chrome. I picked it up from the factory. And from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to my driveway was 488 miles. And I only stopped for gas. And when I got home, I was so wound up, I rode it for another hour and a half before I put it away. I was like, oh, I can't believe I actually have this thing. And then what I didn't know, somewhere between Milwaukee and my driveway, I lost the temporary tag. I don't know when it came off. I'm surprised I never got stopped. I got home and I was like, where's my temporary tag? Oh, screw it, I'll ride it anyway. Yeah, 488 miles straight through. The bike had 0 on it when I picked it up at the factory. 0 miles. When I got home, it was 488.2 miles. And I hardly rode it. That's the problem. First of all, there's so many goddamn idiots nowadays. Everybody's on their goddamn cell phone. And with it being 100th anniversary, Road King Screaming Eagle, one of 2,500. I didn't want to take no chances damaging it. They only built 2,500 Road King Screaming Eagles. And mine was a 1 of 1. Because it was like the last one down the assembly line. And they ran out of transmissions. So instead of a 5-speed, I had the upgraded 6-speed, which was coming out in the next year of production. Because they called me and they said, we got a problem. I said, oh, I don't want to hear problem. Well, it could be a good problem. I said, problem never sounds good. Well, we had a couple of defective transmissions. He's like, oh, no. Hold on. Yours is the last bike being built. I said, yeah. Well, would you okay a 6-speed transmission at no additional charge? I think I thought about it for 2 seconds. Go right ahead. Do it. Okay. Am I going to get the bike? Promise delivery date? Like it, no cutoff, stop. Your bike will be ready when, I can't remember what date. Okay. So it was the only 100th anniversary Road King Screaming Eagle with a factory installed 6-speed transmission instead of the 5 speeds. So that made mine worth a little more. Oh, I got good money when I sold it. Because I even had the factory document that. I said, hey, I want this so that somebody doesn't think I installed it. Oh, it'll be on the build sheet. I said, well, I want it documented that it's 1 of 1. I had to argue with them on that. I said, it's the only one out of 2,500. I want that documented. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. What a bike. Oh my God. I had to pinch myself when I was in the delivery area. Wake up. That's really your bike sitting there under them spotlights. Looked like something from a TV commercial. All them spotlights. I said to the guy, "Can I touch it?" Well, he said, "Sure, it's yours." Oh, it is real. Well, what do you think? It's made of cardboard? You want to hear it? Oh, that thing barked when it started. Man. Scared the shit out of little kids. And it had the 100th anniversary tiger stripe paint job, two-tone gold. It's in my Facebook picture. If you see the little Facebook picture in the corner of my Facebook page, I'm sitting on it. But man, I'll tell you what. They treat every person that picks up from the factory like kings. They really are. Because I got the tour of half of the factory, then lunch. And what's neat, in the lunchroom, they had a beer tap. I had a short one because I was driving. Yeah, a beer tap in the lunchroom. I don't know if the employees get to use it, but because this was the delivery area, treated to a nice lunch. And then the tour of the rest of the plant. And the tour ended in the delivery area with all the spotlights. And what is cool, when you start it up to drive it out the door, all the employees are, thanks for keeping us paychecks going. Yeah, for what I paid for it. I ordered it 2.5 years in advance. 2.5 years. Because I knew the slots, they're only building so many that year. And I knew the slots were going to fill up. Not to mention, well, what they did was they built 3,500 Road King Screaming Eagles. But 1,000 of those were for export to Canada and wherever in the world. There were only 2,500 for America. So I knew that I had to make my mind up real fast. So I went up to my Harley dealer and put down a nice chunk of change for a deposit. And then they send you, when they're, it goes through the engineering, build department, whatever. They send you the serial number. And when you get the serial number, you officially know you are getting a bike. I told my dealer, I says, I better be getting a goddamn bike. I ordered it 2.5 years in advance. And I'll tell you, I remember going up to the dealership because some of the 100th anniversary bikes were being delivered. Of course, they built the Road King Screaming Eagles last, and they were getting like 5,000 over sticker for some of these 100th anniversary bikes. People wanted them. Yeah, okay. 100th anniversary, yeah, big deal. When I look at the prices, it didn't pay for somebody that would have bought one of them bikes and then put it in storage and never touched it. They really didn't appreciate that much. I would have thought being 100th anniversary, oh man, I paid 30 for mine, it'll be worth 60. No, they did not appreciate that much. I gotta grab something. I'm anticipating Mrs. Medcalf stopping in. Let me go grab something. I'll be right back. It won't take a second. I should have grabbed it before the show. We were talking about me going overboard. These are the handheld ham radios. Well, they're actually dual. They're GMRS, which I have a license for, plus it's a ham radio. The Baofeng, B-A-O-F-E-N-G, Baofeng. You can tell they're Chinese, can't you? UV5R, that's the one that Mrs. Metcalf has. Same one. Well, that's the standard version. Well, not really, because it has the extended battery. They're actually this big. That's the extended battery. Grumpy always has to go overboard. So, then we have radio number 2. The red Baofeng UV5R with optional microphone in red to match the radio with the custom tri-band antenna. Like I say, these are dual. That's why I got their ham and GMRS, General Mobile Radio Service. But I always have to go overboard. 2 radios, extended batteries, not to mention dual antennas, long range, like I'm going to be talking to, Antarctica. A shitload of it. I bought every accessory made. And I can't talk on them as ham radios. I can talk on them GMRS, but hardly anybody's on GMRS. Yeah. Here, I'll even, what did I do with it? Where is it? Hang on. Yeah. Here, let me do a quick swap here. If I can remember how the hell can't remember how the hell to take the battery off. There should be a push button here somewhere. How the hell do you take the battery off? Figures I want to show something and I can't figure out how the hell to swap the battery. I don't think you have to take that. No, you shouldn't have to take the belt clip off in order to take the battery off. The battery is supposed to pop right out. There. Let's see. This is the... So the battery would go like, yay. Yeah, this should just pop right off. Never fails. Let me try the other radio here. Maybe there's something I can't see. Well, it figures. It says push here. I'm pushing, and it ain't doing nothing. Well, yeah, we'll do it this way. That is the size of the radio without the extended battery. It's a little pocket size. If you get the long range battery, that's what. So that is the size of the radio without the extended battery. But Grumpy always has to go overboard. Voila. And of course I had to get the, the color keyed red microphone to go with the red radio. Yeah, they came in black, red, blue, yellow, and camo. So I got one red and one black because the yellow looked wacky. But then, like I say, the custom tri-band antenna. Yeah, imagine the radio that tiny. And I had to get the extended battery. Let's see if it's still charged.
Frequency mode.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn, I haven't used these things in months. I'll tell you what, Linda, the camo, oh, it looks sickening. You would think it would be cool camo? No. Crappy shit brindle brown camo. You'd think it would be, like army camo, blue, green, brown, all the no, shit brindle brown. Two-tone shit brindle brown. What I should do is I can actually, these are capable of picking up the airport. I can get the aircraft frequency on these. I'll have to gargle what the frequencies are, and I could put, because they have a scan mode, so I could put one frequency in, and then say it's like 136,000 to 139,000, and it would scan through them like a police scanner used to. I bought all that shit. Well, like I say, I could use them for GMRS, which is a fancy, upgraded, like CB. But hardly anybody's ever on GMRS. What instead of them just sitting in that carry bag that I bought for them, I should at least maybe listen to the airport, get some use out of them. But I had originally planned on getting my ham radio license until I saw the bullshit you have to go through. Yeah, my neighbor was telling me you can get it. I never looked, but you can download a police scanner app for your phone. I never bothered to go in the Google Play Store and search one out. Well, my neighbor up the street's got one because every now and then when she walks her dog, I'll hear, car 127, go to the grumpy old man's house and beat him with a nightstick. Oh, okay. 10-4. Ow! What'd you do that for? Just for fun. Do they work pretty decent? The police scanners that you can put on your cell phone? I mean, I never bothered to really talk to the woman that walks her dog, but I recognize the car numbers, Every now and then she'll walk by and I'll hear it. 129, So I just wonder if it works like the old police scanners like we used to have, Yeah, I'd have to check into it because same thing here. Police, EMS, and fire are all different frequencies. Not like back in the old days, they would dispatch a police car and a fire truck on the same frequency. I'll have to look into it. Gargle it, huh? In the Play Store. What do I put in? Police scanner? Oop, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Come on. I can't get my Google Play Store to open. Oh, there it goes, finally. Apps. That's what I want. Apps, huh? Okay, apps. Apps. Okay, we're on apps. Police scanner app. Okay. Wow. Holy Christ, there's a shitload of them. Police scanner live radio, police scanner 5.0, police scanner and fire radio. Scanner radio, please. Police scanner. Holy Christ. There's a shitload of them. Now the problem is figuring out which one are the best ones. Yeah, first of all, we want to see what the freebies are. Oh, of course, with ads. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm going to have to take a closer look at these tomorrow. See which ones learn something every day. I figured there'd be one or two, maybe three. Holy Christ, there's got to be like 25 of them. Well, I guess maybe I will be doing some investigating here tomorrow. Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. It's amazing how many there are. I'll be scoping them out tomorrow. See, the good thing is if I don't like them, you can uninstall them, especially if they're free. I don't pay for nothing. If it says pay, forget it. I'll be, yeah. The best rating and free, that's probably going to be the best ones. Yeah, cool. If the weather's shitty, which it's supposed to be again tomorrow, I'll be checking that out. Yeah, I would probably more want to do the EMS. Fire, they're not on, that much. I'll check them out. Worth a shot. Now I know how to find police scanners. I can't believe they still sell them things. I mean, like every one of mine is almost obsolete. I can listen to Conrail because we've got a couple of switching yards around here. I can listen to the trains. I can't get any police on. See, what ruined it for a lot of scanners is when they went to scramblers. Although every now and then I see an ad for Bearcats. Get the latest Bearcat, whatever, please, scans 10,000 frequencies or some shit. They're probably a godzillion dollars. God, back in the day, I had scanner in the house, scanner in the car. I had a portable scanner I carried with me. I was really into listening to police and fire. Oh, that would be cool. Hearing your father on the old fire radio. That would be neat. Somebody you knew. Listening for Dad. I'm going to have to see what. Well, like I say, I can get the airport on those radios. But I can't get police or EMS because EMS, I know they're high, ultra high frequency and they're scrambled. Yeah, Ron, that usually helps if you read the instructions. I usually toss mine in a drawer until I can't figure out how the fuck to get anything. Now, with my Bullfang UV5Rs, I know how to scan the frequencies. I had them in the radio once before. Matter of fact, one radio I had the approach tower, and the other radio I had the inbound, the landing tower, whatever the hell they call it. I know one's a approach and the takeoff. Because actually you got three frequencies. You got takeoff, you got approach, and then you got the frequency for them once they're on the ground. But I can program that into my Bullfang ham radios. Well, yeah, you want to keep check on your brethren there. Yeah, I could understand that. You know, back in the day, I had a buddy that was a Cleveland cop, and I knew what shifts he was working, and I knew what car he'd be in. So I would listen, keep track of him all the time. It used to be cool, hearing him on the radio. Especially if he'd stop over at the house. He'd call in, car 123 at such and such address. I'll be out, information for police. Then I'd hear him knocking at the door. Let me in. I gotta kill some time. Goddamn police car parked in my driveway. All the neighbors would be like, oh, God, what did he do now? My buddy'd come in, have a cup of coffee. I'll be back later. Okay. I have to go to work. I remember one night his partner called off, and they were short on police cars, so they stuck him in one of those Cushman scooters. It looked like a phone booth on wheels. He stopped over the house. He goes, I ain't riding around in that goddamn piece of shit. I said, did you leave the key in it? He said, yeah. I said, okay, I'm going to take it for a ride. I drove all over the neighborhood in that thing. I thought it was cool. Yeah, Cleveland had them for a while. They looked like phone booths on wheels, made by Cushman. They used them for parking patrol, but every now and then they'd be short on a police car. They'd stick one of the cops in one of them to ride around and take nuisance calls. I was hoping I could buy one of them at the police auction, but they were all stripped and beat up, and I would have loved to have had one. I would have loved to have had one of the old police three-wheelers, too. Those today, if you got an original from the 50s, 60s, they're worth a fortune today. The old police three-wheelers. I remember they were all over downtown Cleveland. The traffic cops in the spring and summer and the fall before the weather got shitty, they were all over the downtown Cleveland. The old foot clutch and tank shift. What I wouldn't give to have one of them today. Although I spotted something yesterday. I gotta go. It's parked in the guy's. His house sits way back and his yard is fenced. Parked next to his driveway, and it's been there for quite a while, is an old Honda 50 that's got to be from the 70s. I'm going to stop and see if he's going to sell that thing because it was out all winter. I would love to have that just to potz around the neighborhood in. I remember the Honda commercials. You meet more people on a Honda. Everybody was potzing around little Honda 50s, little Honda 90s. I remember them commercials back in the day. You meet more people on a Honda. I'd like to have an old, oh God, I just lost what the hell were those Italian scooters? Oh, back in the day, that's all you saw was scooters and little motorbikes. If only you'd have hung on to them things, you know? Well, speaking of hanging on, I think it's time to hang on to some dinner. Let's see if my tablet's charged up enough to play an outro. God, it was down to like 3%. Let's see if I have any. It's taking forever to boot up. That don't sound good. Vespa, yeah. Back in the 60s and 70s, that's all you saw was them Vespa scooters. They were so cool. Sears used to sell them things. I remember at our local Sears up the street, Back when I was a teenager, you go downstairs and they'd sell right off the sales floor. They were called Allstates, though. They were Vespas, but Sears put Allstate on them. But you could buy one. God, what was that, like $300-400 or something? Because I thought it was strange you could buy a goddamn scooter at Sears. Oh, come on, tablet, boot up. Well, we're getting there. All right, let's see if we got enough battery to play the outro. Oh, we know where, right here, WDWL TV. The original 1940s version. And with that, thanks everybody for popping in tonight. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And we will meet again here tomorrow night. Take care.